So the second area of continuous innovation that we're going to talk about is the idea of general systems theory. And general systems theory is broken out into two parts. The first area is economic influence, meaning how much financial resources are available to stimulate the development of new ideas or foster this innovation. It can also mean how fast are the competitors getting things out to market. So the whole competitive element of market share, or how much capital gain can we make in a particular product segment in that time. So that seems to be a big influence from a systems perspective. The second is strategic planning. All of you are familiar with strategic planning. That forward thinking, development of initiatives, that this is where we want to go, and this is how we might get there. The who, what, when, and where of business. In strategic planning here, this idea suggests that instead of just thinking about it in silos, think about how innovation can be woven into the strategy. How can we do things differently? Where can we go further? How can we do things maybe more creative or innovatively than we did the year past? So that idea of tying strategy to innovation in the whole broad scheme of systems thinking is the second area of general systems theory. So the last area of the continuous culture for innovation is the idea of deliberate and unintentional innovation. So deliberate innovation meaning I have a hammer and I want to turn the hammer into a multi-purpose tool that has a screwdriver and a wrench. So that is what I have a tool. I'm combining parts to make a new whole for a different purpose or a different process. That's very intentional. Now, when you make this new product, if perhaps you develop an unintended use or an unintended market, maybe it could be a nice paperweight, who knows? That unintentional innovation is also part of the idea of continuous culture of innovation. So being able to repurpose the unintentional to something that's useful and adds value. So the ideas between deliberate and unintentional innovation, the first is risk-taking. So being able to really step out there. The beginning of this presentation we talked about being bold and bright, and this risk-taking is where that is. Being different, standing out from the flock, don't doing things like everybody else does, and knowing that you have this element of cooperation and trust to support you in that bold thinking. The next is the idea of employee diversity and skill set. I'm sure you've all heard about if we all think the same, we're going to get the same result. Do the same thing today, we're going to be the same place tomorrow. This idea is meaning bringing in diversity in the workplace to be more creative. And this just isn't ethnicity, age, gender. Those things are great, but also layer on background, experiences, perspectives, what might bring a rich conversation that allows you to see the problem or process from varying levels, different type of angles. So the second is employee diversity and skill set. The last is idea creation or hybridization of concepts. So this portion kind of takes us all the way back to the creativity conversation that we talked about. Having an idea, and maybe that idea isn't revolutionary, it's just something that kind of emerges with what is already known, what is already out there in the market. So hybridization of concepts, a great example would be an iPhone. An iPhone, intendedly, you would think of, oh, it's your cell phone. But how many other functions and purposes are on the iPhone? Apple's creativity there was taking multiple devices, a camera, a video, all the applications, access to the web, on and on and on, and consolidating them into one device. That's a great example of hybridization of concepts. So, in summary of what we've talked about today, If any of you all are interested in doing more work in innovation, these are some of the areas to define more metrics, to look at it not just from the leader's perspective, but also what does the team or the organization have to say about this leader? The information I collected was from one perspective of that organization. Perhaps you could do multiple perspectives of the same organization. I also suggest that it would be great to do this study over a period of time. My semi-structured interview data set was just at a particular date, right? They told me about one moment they were proud of. What if you were able to study the same organization over a span of 5 to 10 years? So these are some of the ideas of innovation if you'd like to take it further. The contributions to the field of organizational development, innovation is very broad. I think it affects all professional development in every area. So that concludes the conversation that Dr. Caldwell asked me to present for you guys. I hope you had enjoyed it and learned something about it, and please let me know if you're interested in continuing the conversation around the culture of innovation. Thank you.